Hello, people of the internet. Today you join me with the Retromebob, as I've actually called it, up there. And it's got a 60-degree full aluminium V8 of 6 litres, which is a pretty good engine. But I need to update this to rival the Lamborghini Quattrovalvole. Valvo, that's it. And I'll just show you the sound of this engine quickly. It's not a bad sounding engine, not a bad engine for power either, but we do need to update it to compete with the Lamborghini, which is more or less 100 horsepower more powerful than it was 10 years earlier now. I'll also take the opportunity to mention that it's a 2 valve per cylinder, yes, 2 valve per cylinder engine. I've got there eventually, and I'll hold it in the power band for a short while to show you how it sounds. You'll see 365.5 is how much power it makes, so we're by no means bad there, but we do need to improve it. We have some piston stress, but it's nothing too major. I eventually had to compromise with that. The carburetors, we have 2 4-barrel carburetors. I believe the Quattrovalvole has 6 dual-barrel carburetors. Although that is a newer model, that is an interesting way to go about things. I'll more likely go with fuel injection on this, I think. But I'm going to redesign this thing, so hopefully I can change a year without exploding. It's 1987 now, it should be 1985. Not sure what went on there. Still making the same power and everything, so nothing major's gone wrong. Just see if I can somehow fast forward. No, it's gone on 95. There we go. I'm slightly confused. What year was we working with? There we go. So we should now have fuel injection. We didn't have it in the point in the 70s when I was working, but we have it now. Or I don't know. I don't think we had it. If we just look back 10 years, I'm pretty sure, yes, injection isn't a thing, so it just wasn't an option available. Now I'll try single point electronic fuel injection and move to multi-point if that doesn't work. But for now, I'm going to mess around with it, see what I can get out of it, and return when I'm done. Okay, so I've updated the engine, and as you can probably tell, it's a turbo. By the huge lag, I tried to keep it kicking in at 3000 RPM, but that struggled to stay with the kinds of power I want. Now, it does make 4 horsepower less than the Lamborghini does. That's not my major concern, though. It's got loads of torque. I mean, over 100 torques more than the Lamborghini, which I think is enough to compensate for that. We are still a 2 valve per cylinder engine though, whereas they needed 4 valve per cylinder and 5 litres. We've done it with far less. I say that, it's 5.2 litres on the Lamborghini, so with only 800 cc's more and 2 valve per cylinder, we've managed to pull the power through. It does actually have a lower red line, hence less piston stress. It just didn't need the high red line, and I can probably change that. Yes, it doesn't change it at all. I just stuck huge on in the hope it would make the power easy as it could. But huge is probably going to save me a bit of weight and still make the exact same spec. So I'll go with a large intercooler as opposed to a huge one. We've got a ball bearing set because it makes more power. In this case, it reduces lag quite significantly, and we'll want that because the lag is horrible as it is. But I really did try and reduce it. I mean, this is like building a 1000 horsepower supercar today, only we don't have near as much RPM to play with. We only have 6200. Now, we could turn up the RPM limit, but that would cause more stress, which is just not necessary for the kind of performance index, which is at its highest at 6200. I've set the ignition timing up and the turbo, PSI and everything to kind of balance it out. Compression is really low, low as it'll go. And I tried to balance lag and power ultimately. I could have given it crazy power, but then the lag would have just made what little power band there is completely unusable. Now you'll see we have got single point EFI, and actually somehow slipped a performance intake on. It doesn't do that much for power, so I'll just remove that. Can I change anything here and there to get me power back, I wonder? It's just the game tends to do that when you change the injection type. I'm not sure why, it just does it. Full aluminium engine still, by the way. Oh, look at that. Sadly, that does begin to create lag when I mess with these, so that's why I don't like doing it. Yeah, I'll leave it at 450. Still close enough to a Lamborghini. Still with 5 horsepower. I mean, it's not the end of the world. We can enlarge in the exhaust, though. It takes a bit of torque, but torque is not the problem. This vehicle has easily got enough torque. Quality is +2 and everything, and the engine is heavier. 265 kilos. It's been 275, so it's not the worst weight we've got in the world, but it is not as light as it used to be. There's no way of denying it. Those turbos add weight, although it is quite a nice looking engine. Not typically what you would evaluate an engine on, but in this case it's a supercar engine, so I guess it has to look somewhat presentable, so people want to spend loads of money on it because they are expensive. Now if we take that away, what's that thing in the middle, that blue thing? I don't know, can I remove it? It's very confusing. Just a random lump of blue clay or something through the engine. Anyway, I'll let it run. The pistons don't look to be moving very fast considering how much power it's making. You see here we're still kind of burbling. And then all the power. You can't really hear the turbo considering it's making about 80 horsepower. That's surprising. Now the transmission, the top speed is still apparently 180, but this stuff is odd at times. So yeah, it does indeed look like it goes 180, although I would still have expected more. I guess it's not the end of the world, although specificationally the extra speed does look good. The economy is rubbish. It's 13.9. Now, we still don't have an option for a limited slip differential, which I find odd, because it's 1975. There we go. Now we have differentials and everything. Yes, I finally worked this stuff out. We could go with all-wheel drive, but I want to keep it rear-wheel drive. Hopefully just put really wide tyres on it if it'll let me. Now, we have quite a few options. We have vicious or geared primarily for my usage. So they both cost the same, apparently. They both do the same. I think geared is more expensive. At least in the older version of the game, so we'll go with it just purely based on that. And I don't know, why isn't the speed changing? I'm going to put some fancy aero parts on it as well, just to get it going quicker than it is now. And I'm not liking what it's doing with the tyres, so I'll have to try and enlarge in these wheel arches, see if that does it. Ah yes, 305's not the widest in the world, but they should do. Sport compound, because we're newer on tyres, so it shouldn't be as bad as 1970s tyres. It's a ridiculous wide body now, though. Can probably widen the front. We've not got much to lose at this point. 285, 305, but we probably don't need 285. 265, 305. It should be reasonably well balanced tyres. The Lamborghini has narrower fronts and 225s, I think, and 345s on the rear. But for our usage, this should be fine. Also, a rear engine, so there's a lot of grip there anyway. Yeah, a lot of weight over the rear, mind. Now, should we go with magnesium wheels? I think we shall. Try and save a bit of weight we've put on. We can go with vented disc brakes on the front. Same as before. Well, similar. Can we go any larger? No, they'll only go 250mm. Can we make the wheels bigger then without compromising the tyres? Yes, we can. I think we'll go with 15s. That should be good all in all. So, what can we get on the brakes? 295. They should be decent enough for size. And on the rear, we can go with 245mm one piston solid discs because they're less stressed than the front. I don't think we should need vented discs there. And what's happened to the tyres? Have I been completely stupid here? 265 front. Oh dear. Oh yes, I've been stupid. There we go. It accepts 14-inch wheels and tyres, so that's what we'll take. We'll have to slightly change the braking plan though. Slightly make those smaller at 230mm and 275 on the front. I'll put 3 pistons on and 2 pistons on the rear just for the sake of it. And they can be 235s. Yes, I changed my mind a lot, but I have eventually got what I wanted. Just how ridiculous can you make a Porsche look? The poor thing. It's been through so much since I got my hands on it. And now it's not really a Porsche anymore. It's more a Woof or something. A wide body Woof. Now we have a fully clad under tray, which is good. We don't have front and rear wing angle. I will add a front and rear wing because I think I need them. Cooling airflow, how much do we need and how much do we have? So I think we'll up that by 1 point. Should give us all the points we need. Hopefully put more to the brakes as well. Yeah, I up that again. Ooh. The engine is apparently knocking. What an odd problem. I think, as of now, the easiest way to fix it is like that. And then just mess with the turbo boost to fix it. Again, we're losing the odd horsepower, and it's being very odd at me at the moment. Seriously. I'm trying to fix you. There we go. Trying to balance the turbo lag so it's not too bad. That should do the job. Enough. Now, it's still not knocking. Good. What else can we do? This has become a better vehicle, I think. In its own weird way. Now, there is different interiors. To be honest, we probably want sport, luxury or handmade. I put a premium interior on it before. The reality of it is it's a supercar. I should have put better on it. Now, we'll go with, I think, luxury. I don't think we need a handmade interior, because it's mainly about the performance as opposed to the interior, but we should go with a premium cassette as well. Ooh, fancy suspension. And we can have some traction assistance. Yeah, but let's go with all the fanciest stuff, because we're going to need it. This is for the day. A stupidly overpowered vehicle. Advanced safety. Now we can go with the same suspension we had before, tuned for sport. Still 85, good. I was worried it had gone on to 1975 for a moment there. Should the quality be on +2 though? Yes it should. So here's our vehicle. 1139 kilograms. Far lighter than the near 1500 kilogram Lamborghini. And we have more torque. 0 to 60 though. It's still claiming 4.5 seconds. I'm not sure what's got into it. It just doesn't seem to want to change that figure. Weight distribution is not great. Where can we see the weight distribution? 70% rear by the looks of it. because it's a bit funny in how it displays it. Oh dear. Double wishbones all round. Have we got any other suspension, I wonder? Just looking back into these menus. Go forwards 10 years. Now, did I make it out of fiberglass? Yeah, that's probably why it's so light. Now, we have slightly better materials. I'll make it out of corrosion resistant steel now, to resist corrosion better naturally. Upgrade the quality. And we need the aero parts. So if we have a wing, this should do the trick, even though it's not the best looking. Look, it's a wing, I found it. There we go. And on the front, we need a lip. There we go. Snap it into the middle. And it can just sit here. You can rest there. Oh dear, those lights aren't making much use of themselves. Well, one of them's covered it up. I don't know. You are a crazy, crazy car. That's for sure. Also, your wing is going right over the tail lights. Oh, I can't be bothered to change it. But the quality must be changed, says me. No, that's all that part done. So I think just finally retune the suspension in case my trim has done anything funny to it, and it still won't let me adjust the wings. Oh dear. Maybe downforce is just disabled for now. That'd be a shame. Gearing, that's the last thing we've got to adjust, I think. 179 it'll apparently do still. So that's that. Leave it at 27, I think. It's good for sportiness value, which is something. Miles per gallon is 13.3. I don't know why it's saying that's better as a 13.1 miles per gallon figure. I don't know. Either way, I'm not sure what the Lamborghini had for fuel economy. Probably slightly better than my car, admittedly, but who knows for certain. Someone somewhere knows. And I've got to take this round the test track. Now I've messed up the weight balance. So I'll return when I've done that. Okay, so what a car and what a time it's set. It's a 2 minutes 12.67 time, which puts it just over 2 seconds above the Polluter Advance V12, which I believe was my RS6 rival. Still a much more modern car though, with all-wheel drive and huge amounts of power, despite that weighing, well, the same as a large industrial building. The Bomb has beaten it by about 7.5 seconds, thereabouts. But that is a modern hypercar, so you can expect it to be crazy. For a vehicle from the 1980s, this is very impressive. And as with a 70s counterpart, it set quite an impressive time for the era. Perhaps even more impressive when you respect the era and everything. The miles per gallon is absolutely disgraceful, but at the same time it's to be expected. 450 horsepower in the mid-80s was a lot. So you can't expect to have this kind of power and have some crazy ultra economical monster machine. But still, for once I'm happy with something I built in New Automation, and that's a thing I can say. Yes, I can. Well, I could say it anyway, even if I wasn't happy with it, but I am. It's about 65 kilos heavier on the engine than the old engine, and the vehicle itself is 130-ish kilos heavier than it was before. But all in all, we have to respect it's a lot more powerful. This has a lot of power to deal with. And we have a galvanised chassis as well, we mustn't forget that. So that probably adds a little weight with all the galvanisation added onto it. But I can see us holding a test of time quite well as it did against a modern car. But I guess the question is going to be, what will the car be that will slice it between the bomb and the Retromebob, which actually needs another name now I think of it. So the trim can be called VAIT, meaning ignition, no, injection, that's a word, turbo, as that's what it is. But anyway, I'm going to leave you with a shot from above and say goodbye until another day.